All right,
Boom.
we're live. Boys are back together, just chopping it up, hanging out. What's going on?
What's happening?
How you doing, Dragos?
We just had Easter in Romania.
Yeah, it's Orthodox Easter, Greek Easter.
Yep. Yep. Fun times.
Christos Anesti. There's the extent of my Greek.
Yeah.
Endaxi? All right.
Sorry?
Endaxi? You understand?
No, I don't speak Greek.
I'll get to you one day.
Yep.
So I was going through some of my gear for the excursion we're doing this weekend with the boys, Moth. I found my bear bangers. This is the extent of protection that you can use in Canadian provincial parks. Is this little device over here? It's a pen with what's essentially a flashbang that goes on the end, and it shoots about 50 meters, maybe 30 to 45 or so, and makes a loud bang with a flash. And this is a firing device. It's basically it's basically a firing pin. You pull back, you let go, primer hits, and then the bear banger flies off. You can also get these as flares too, and I don't even know if this is a bear banger or a flare. So we'll have to test when we get up there to see what it is. But
yeah, in America we just call that 4th of July.
Yeah. I know. But
well, speaking of, I mean, this is a good time for a little bit of a shameless plug. So yeah, we're taking a group of community members, 1% guys and 10% guys, up to Algonquin Park for a couple of days. Going to be doing some paddling, some backpacking, some hiking. I just had a 10% meetup in Tampa this last weekend as well, where we did some tactical shooting, cleared some rooms, did some tactical scenarios, did some MMA and some boxing.
How was that?
It was cool. It was great. The guys really liked it. I think only maybe one or two had ever done anything like it before. One guy's former military, so he was more into the grappling, and then one guy had done maybe like a half dozen classes before we did this, but the rest of them were pretty beginner, and then at least 3 of them or 4 of them have signed up for classes or are going to be signing up for classes after that. So
nice.
They're taking that stuff seriously. I even have a member that's going to be down here for the month of May, and just gonna train the hell out of him and carve him out of wood. He's going to train with me, and we're going to get him set up with some new stuff. So yeah, it'll be a good time. And we've got 4 or 5 other meetups planned between now and the end of the year, and then we've got the forum coming around the corner in 2025. So yeah, we're really cranking on the community stuff, man. I told the guys on Thursday, I'll drop it again really quickly here. The price of the 10% is going to go from $14.97 lifetime to $19.97 lifetime as of June 1st, to coincide with the launch of the School of Unplugging, which is down in the ticker. So good time for you guys to get on that email list. There's a lot of good stuff going out right now from Rich in regards to the 1% forum and some of the talks that some of the guys like Mike Piazza and Ryan Tarabont did. And you guys will be the first ones to be notified when that stuff goes live.
Yeah, most of the talks I'm going to give away to my email list or members. I did the Teraband one publicly because he's a known name, and I figured it'd be better to put it over there. But the rest of them will go to my email list or channel members. But there's a handful. There's a couple that I can't, just because of the nature of the talk. But yeah, if you're interested in joining a community of like-minded men, just go to my website at richcooper.ca, and you can sort of start there. The 1%'s for the top shelf. Guys that are generally entrepreneurs, STEM guys, licensed professionals. They're making a few $100,000 a year, net worth over $1 million. And then there's entry level that Moff sort of levels guys up from at the 10%. So like you said, check it out. All the links are below. Let's speaking of bears before, this bear thing is still got wind in the sails. It's still all over the internet, and women are strongly opposed to the idea of being in the woods with a strange man that they're not attracted to, that they're genuinely thinking are socially awkward, anxious, dangerous people versus bears, and they would choose a bear over that, which is completely absurd to me as a guy that's been an outdoorsman and out in the woods a good chunk of my youth and childhood. But I don't know, man. What's the situation with bears in Eastern Europe, Dragos? You guys have black bears, brown bears there? I know they're in Russia.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of bears, but we treat them, I don't know, humanely. Like bears should be afraid of people and should not get close. So the ones that, I don't know, end up going through garbage or other stuff like that get relocated to somewhere else because they can be a hazard to themselves or people.
Is that a question that's
So,
gone around with the women over there? Have they been asked, would you prefer to be in the woods with a bear or a strange man?
dude, I think there's maybe like a 1 or 2% of the female population in Romania that even heard of this subject.
Hmm.
Like it's like an entire different world.
It's stupid, I guess, in the regard that they'd probably obviously pick the strange man, right?
I It's a different world, man. That's like you would asking some woman that question would get you a reaction like, "Hey, I'm on candid camera." Is like, is this a joke? Like, what's going on?
But it's taken very seriously here in North America.
Yeah, like every single time I go over the ocean and come over to you guys, whether Miami, where it's less so, but in the more, I don't know, liberal cities,
Yeah.
Democrat cities, or in Canada, it kind of seems like a fairy tale. Like it looks like fiction to me, and it takes me 3, 4, 5 days to actually realize that this is your reality.
Yeah.
I don't know. The question is so abstract because you run into men a lot more than you run into bears. I'm sure if you ran into as many bears as you ran into men, there would be a lot more bear attacks than there would be any kind of assault, though, right?
Right.
We have this scenic drive through the mountains in Romania, and sometimes you get bears crossing the street, and sometimes you get some idiots trying to feed the bears. And there's a very public backlash against that. Like, don't do something stupid. Don't get the authorities caught up in trying to manage you when they have other more important things to take care of. There seems to be just like a lot more common sense.
What's so funny about it is that the women that are trying to argue for the bear are trying to do so logically. They're saying, like, look at the statistics. You're much more likely this, much more likely that. It's just another. It just drives home the point that you should just never take anything they say seriously. Treat them like little children. Just like,
difficult.
oh wow, you want to go live in the bears? Oh, that's really cute. That's how sweet. That's precious, right? It's just that's the funny part to me, where they're not even being girls about it. Like, oh, bears are so cuddly and fun loving and this and that, and it'll probably be fun. They're like, actually, if you look at the statistics, and it's just so it's endearing how dumb they are.
Try telling the bear you have a headache or you're not in the mood, honey.
Yeah, like this entire subject is like the first time I saw it, I thought it was a joke. Like it didn't even register. Like, I thought it was a meme. I don't think there were people actually taking this subject seriously.
Well, the chicks are. So I'll put this up on the screen because this is a public post. It's got the globe on it on Facebook, so I'm not doxing anybody here. This is something that anybody can find on this page. But the comments that these women are making on the subject of the strange man versus the bear are just so completely absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's lots of idiots in this world, even people that think the world is flat. So I'm not sure, like, the fact that it's getting attention gives it any credibility.
They think that it's credible. I mean, you can tell by the serious responses that they're making here. This gal here says, but if you leave a bear alone, it won't bother you. Men will flip out if you ignore them. I faced both men and a grizzly bear. The bear left me alone. Look, if the bear's hungry, the bear will not leave you alone. The bear, I've seen a black bear maul a moose calf, just destroy it. I'm a hiker. I've intentionally gone into bear country during bear season for fun. I've been uncomfortably close to several bears, both black and grizzly, and would still prefer to encounter a random bear over a random man in the woods. I just don't get it. Bears do not see people as prey and prefer to keep. Not true. Bears eat humans all the time. They will fuck you up fast.
Or if it's a mama bear with cubs.
Yeah, if it's spring season and she's just got some cubs around her, you're in big fucking trouble.
I I think it's just a way for them to show how much they have taken on the narrative and are able to regurgitate the narrative when it comes to a particular topic. That's all.
It's funny because I mean, like all of these comments are all based on I have been face to face with a bear. I'm a hiker. You know, I've looked a bear in the eye. I mean, did you really? You know, like was
But
it
the
at the
difference
dump?
is,
Was it
go
the dump
do
after they
that
finished
every
eating the
day.
garbage? You know.
like BB, it's like, go do that every day and then
Yeah.
see what your success rate is. Like, you literally pass by random men every day of your life. Go pass by bears every
Every
day
day of
and
your
see
life,
if you
yeah.
have the same result.
Yeah, it's like I said before, like the number of bear encounters versus the number of male encounters.
There's
It's like-
not a single woman here that's saying that she would prefer the strange man.
Yeah, maybe that's an echo chamber or an echo bubble.
Groupthink.
Otherwise,
Look at this. It is very scary when you walk in the woods and a man comes along the trail, no way to tell if he's good or bad. So have to get the pepper spray with a big knife ready to hand just in case. We're not allowed guns in the UK, and I wouldn't go without a big dog. So she's more scared. I mean, there's no bears in the
Just
UK
stay
as far as I
home.
know.
Women,
Yeah,
just
stay home.
don't go anywhere. Just stay home, cook and clean. Don't do anything. Find a man, serve him, and you'll never have this problem.
yeah, maybe that will get taken out of context and bring some type of polarizing point of view.
Yeah.
We had some bears attacking a group of enduro bike riders. So, like, we
Enduro
don't
bikes,
do a
yeah.
lot of MX here. We basically take our bikes, our off-road bikes, 300cc, two strokes, 450s, even lower, and going through the woods. And it's kind of like a good workout, and you get some time spent in nature. And it does happen that the bears attack the bike riders, but they try to not antagonize the situation and just run away as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what would happen if you asked him a question about cats, like a cougar. Would you rather be stuck in the woods with a cougar or a strange man?
I don't
What if
think
you get the same
cougars,
response?
like, maybe we don't have that big cats over here, and I think we don't. We have something like maybe the size of a dog. I think a cougar is bigger.
Yeah, like a bobcat. You probably have.
You
like
got
smaller
vampires
cats.
and stuff over there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
Dracula lives around the corner, right?
Sorry?
Dracula lives around the corner, doesn't he?
Yeah, under the bed. And the idea of having such a large predator that isn't afraid of you anywhere close, it's like, why would you want to put yourself in that position?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, what else is going on this week? What else did we trip across?
The young Chads down in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I think whether it doesn't matter where you fall on the Israel-Palestine question, those guys holding up the flag, I think, were pretty baller this week.
Yeah, that's what men are supposed to do, so good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's also the guys down in Mississippi that are going viral. There was like a single black woman yelling at an entire like wall group of guys, and there's this kid that was doing like ape and monkey noises or something at her, and that's kind of currently going viral. And now it's like, you know, white supremacy is back and it's rearing its ugly head. I don't know. It seems like the pendulum is just starting to swing in the other direction. Finally, I think people are finally starting to wake up. But the people, and this is really interesting because I think we're starting to see the generation, you know, the Gen Z guys that they didn't grow up reading the newspaper. They didn't grow up watching CNN or MSNBC or Fox News or whatever. They're getting their information and their news from Joe Rogan, Andrew Huberman. I mean, even Andrew Tate. You know, I think one of the things that Tate to me is like CrossFit. You know, it's one of those things where it was at one point very much for just an in-group and very much something where it's just, this is our thing. And then it kind of blew up and went mainstream. And then regardless about how you feel about the guy personally or what you think about kind of the allegations, if there's one thing that I think that he did that was a positive, it's the same thing as if CrossFit did one thing, regardless how you feel about the programming and like the max reps to failure and all that kind of stuff, the one thing positive it did is it, more than any other workout program or any other workout movement, it got barbells into the hands of more people than ever in history. And so Tate has kind of done the same thing. It's gotten sort of this message of masculine excellence and don't feed into the BS and don't take the blue pill, in a way that we do, but on just a huge, massive scale. And I think those guys are those are the people that are going to be, voting and packing ballots or whatever. But I think the pendulum's certainly starting to swing, and it's going to take the guys that are sick of being told that you're toxic and you're privileged and you are a piece of shit just because you're a straight white man, and people are sick of it.
Yeah. Again, maybe from a saner part of the world, we kind of have some people like that trying to gain attention over here, but it's just not interesting to everybody else, right? Over in the US or in Canada, those kinds of people are being entertained because they get attention, right? So that makes other people want to behave the same because they want the attention as well. Just like with the protesters on the campus. What are you protesting for? Oh, we don't know, but we're protesting. Why? Because kind of people are over here, and it's like this effective diffusion of attention, and it spreads, right? So that doesn't need to happen. Like, people can have those opposite or polarizing points of view, but they don't get entertained everywhere in the world, and that in itself means that it doesn't get replicated.
Why do you think it gets entertained in North America, whereas it's mostly ignored in Eastern Europe?
Colleges, universities,
No,
they're all no, they're all incubators for it. If you there's a really good book out at the moment, Rich Big Intel, and the guy details absolutely how this whole system is set up, how it's designed to just foster groupthink and same think across universities and churn it out like a factory, like distribution centers. You know those big Amazon distribution centers?
Yeah.
That's what universities are for crazy information. They just pump it out.
going a bit more towards the root of the issue and kind of like looking from the outside, right? Because I don't live over there. I think the West has an issue with eroding trust in institutions and in the group. Just like the book, the Fourth Turning. Also, I think there seems to be a systematic attack from the East on the West regarding these types of ideas, these types of currents being amplified, right, through TikTok and other, I don't know, social media. And
There's definitely a psyop from TikTok that's happening, though, because
yeah,
it seems that there's all these things that trying to destabilize the West. These protests, there's several wars going on right now, but why is it this war, the one that is being amplified, and there are protests about it, right?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
all. It's just like there was that I think Osama bin Laden's manifesto was spreading through TikTok a few months ago until they decided to kill it. So
Yeah. And just to plug in one short idea before I close my part on the subject, I think this general idea of common sense has kind of left the chat over there, and because of this, very polarizing ideas get promoted by social media that are all in a war of attention with each other. So they want to be controversial. They want to have controversial content because that brings views, right? For them, it's a business. They get paid for ads presented to a number of people. So for them, there's no real incentive to keep things real. They want things to be as crazy as possible, to garner as much attention as possible, because that's what brings them and their investors more bottom line, I think is what you guys call profit. So I think it's a systemic issue. Like, the common sense has left the chat. And as long as this doesn't get solved from a very grassroots point of view, like from the bottom up, you're going to have different entities, corporations, big tech that want to amplify this for their own good.
Muff, what's the situation with the visitor here?
Yeah, it looks like he's got a question about. Oh, here's what he said in the private chat. We can bring him up if you want. He goes, I'm making 10K a month at 15 years old. Should I start spinning plates or scale my business higher, then start dating? I'm currently in a toxic relationship.
Bring him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the business? I want to know what he's doing making 10 grand a month at 15.
Hey, bro.
Hello.
You're on mute. I would try to pronounce your name, but I don't know. You're muted, by the way.
I appreciate to be in the call. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to get advice.
So what are you doing that you're making 10,000 a month at 15?
I am running an content creation agency.
A what agency, sorry?
Content creation agency.
Content creation. Okay, so what does that mean? What do you do?
I actually make clips pages and fan pages for bigger audience people.
Oh, okay, so you're like a Hustlers University student?
No. I didn't join that. I started with do you know Keaton Hoskins?
No.
Anyway, this type of thing, right?
Okay, so what's the ask here? You're making content for people?
Yes. I wanna ask you, should I start dating or just scale my business to more financial resources so that I have more resource allocated with me?
I mean, you're 15.
You're kind of young to be having these issues.
Yeah. No, where are you located?
I am located in a third world country, India.
Okay.
I'm thinking of moving on to another one.
So you're making 10,000 a month USD?
Yes.
So you're
USD.
fucking loaded for a 15-year-old where you live.
Yeah, dude's like baller. That's baller level over there, man.
Thank you.
You're asking about bringing something that can deplete all your resources pretty quickly into your life at 15.
Yes.
Is that what your plans are? You want to make all this money and then give it away to a chick?
Nah, that's not my plan.
Okay. So what's the plan? Like, what do you ask? Do you want to date women? So what's stopping you from dating women?
Actually, I'm currently in a toxic relationship. I would say it's been 5 months,
Why is it toxic?
and she never listens to me, and she just annoys me every time I text with her, and she always say you didn't give me enough time and stuff.
So she's toxic because she wants more of your time. How much time do you give her right now?
Around 2 hours a day.
2 hours a day?
Yeah.
7
Yes.
days a week?
Yes, about that.
Yeah, you see her a lot, dude. For a 15-year-old, it's a lot of time with a chick, especially if you're running a business.
That's like half your life when you're 15, though, because you got school and you got your parents and you got chores. Like
Yes.
You still go to school?
Yes, I go to school. Currently taking leaves for I used to go to school once every week.
Well, I'm looking at something that should be obvious as far as advice to you.
Yeah, I'm fat. I know it. I'm fat. I'm going to gym. I'm going to the gym. It's been around 3 months, cutting down weight, putting muscles, doing everything. I have your book and watched a lot of your content.
How tall are you?
Around 5'10", yeah, 5'11" ish.
And how much do you weigh?
82 at the time.
82 kilograms.
Yes.
Yeah, you got some weight to lose, my friend. I can see it in your cheeks.
Yes.
That's what I would be focusing on. Not girls, not spending 2 hours a day with this girl. Take an hour every day away from her and go to the gym. There's my advice.
Yeah, I'm going to the gym for 2 hours a day.
Sorry. Take an hour away from her, go to the gym, and twice a week take another hour away and go to a dojo and learn how to fight.
Okay, got it.
And if she wants to protest about that, just let her have a hissy fit and just say, I'm busy at the gym. I'll see you on this date at this time.
Got it.
That's it.
Got it.
You run that relationship and focus on your self-care more than anything at this stage is what I would give
Thank
you guys.
you. Thank you.
You
for
guys got
answering my
anything else for
question.
this young gentleman?
Yeah, dude, making 10K a month at 15 is fucking awesome. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're still pretty young, so I would shy away from
Yeah.
labels like a toxic relationship and other stuff like that, because there's
Yeah,
still,
it's little distracting. Yeah, it's little distracting. But and at the end of the day, I'm still a man.
yeah, what I wanted to say is that you probably don't know how to recognize a toxic relationship at this age. So maybe you want to shy away from putting labels like that on things. I'm pretty sure she's just as inexperienced as you. So maybe she has a good
Yeah.
heart and she is just young. So don't think about that too much.
Yeah, I was thinking about breaking up with her. Then I think that same thought that she may be young and she don't know about things.
Well, that's kind of understandable. What age is she?
Yeah. She is also 15. She was my classmate.
Okay, well, considering I don't know what the laws are over there, but you might want to take care with underage sexual relationship laws and stuff
I
like
know
that.
it. I know it. I didn't done anything sexual at her.
I
I know
mean,
They're
it.
just holding hands, man.
yeah, that can rail that
Yeah.
can put you in a bad spot pretty fast.
Yeah.
Knowing the amount of
I
success,
thought about it.
yeah,
I
you're
thought about
having, I would take a very good look at that situation.
it.
Otherwise, get a better position, and if you get to 20 with 200K in the bank with a nice lifestyle, I would say the next thing that you probably want to do is move.
What are you doing with this money that you're making right now?
I'm actually I'm investing some of it, and my parents said to buy like a house. They are planning to buy a house and saving for that at the moment. Just bought a motorcycle at this moment.
Mhm.
Yes.
Rich,
So
is
you're
So
this going
like
to
saving
be
money
one?
for a house.
spending it all.
Is
Yeah.
this going? Is this going to be one of these cases where in a few years she's going to be a Silicon Valley CEO, and this will be the video where he first came online somewhere?
I mean, making short content is very popular out there now for young people, especially in countries
Yes.
like where our friend is. But it's pushing down the value of the work. I can tell you, I still get dozens of DMs and emails from kids like you every single day.
Yeah, I
I'm sure
DM'd
that
you,
you see
but
them
you
now,
blocked
Moff,
me.
right? It's like it's a dime a dozen now. So it's it's chasing something that's losing its value for time exchange in it because the market's so saturated from everybody teaching kids how to do this stuff, like editing videos. AI is going to take this over. There's like, you want
Yeah.
to do something with this, go out there and create some sort of algorithm or an app
No, no, no,
where you
no.
can plug in a
I'm gonna
link
move.
and it will automatically generate shorts and you don't have to do shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna move in mergers and acquisitions. I have a friend that is a billionaire. I have a friend. His net worth is around 600 million USD.
You have a friend, you're 50 and you have a friend that's a billionaire.
Yes, he will be a billionaire next year. His net worth is around as today's time, around 700 million. At 29 years old.
Where does he live?
You know what, Rich?
He lives in Bali and he moves to Dubai
And
like time to time.
and how
You
did you
know
meet
what,
this
Rich?
20 hang on a sec. How did you meet this 29-year-old that's your friend?
I actually contacted him about that. Then we started talking, and he's also from India, but he moved from India like when he was very little.
I'm not sure I believe
That's
some
why.
of the story, man.
Yeah, it's very hard to believe. Yeah,
All
I
right,
know
well, we'll
it.
let you go.
Let's try this, Rich,
Got
before
it.
we let him go. Moff, would you be willing to verify Arnvar? Is that your name?
I know. Sorry, I wrote it wrong. ARNAV. I
Arnav.
was pretty.
Okay.
Yes, I was full with anxiety before
Moff, would
entering
you
this call.
be so kind as to maybe verify these claims and this
Yeah, sure, sure, sure,
young man's
sure.
situation? And if the things are as you say they are I would be willing to sponsor a scholarship for you.
You don't need a sponsor scholarship. He makes 10 grand a month, dude. He's got plenty of money. If that's what
Just
you're
wanted to
thinking.
put
He
it
pays for it himself.
kindly.
All right. Good luck in your ventures, man. Get out there, lose that
Thank you.
weight, hit the gym, go to a dojo. Thanks for popping in. It's difficult to verify, some of these stories, and people make all kind of outlandish claims a lot of times. But if he's 15 doing that, then good for him, man.
Yeah. I mean, plus he said his friend was worth 600, then he said 700 or whatever. Like the numbers change, right? So it's there's that kind of thing, and he's 15 too.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Beautiful, beautiful. If that's what's happening, go for it. Good for you. What else we got on the table from the past week that's been interesting, guys?
What about a hostage tape guy?
Hostage tape. Oh yeah, tell me the story about hostage tape. You posted something about this guy. His wife left him and then she came back or something.
Yeah, you can pull it up on. I don't know if I have it queued up fast enough on X, but essentially, this guy launched this brand of mouth tape. I don't know, maybe a year ago, and he basically wrote this super thread on X. Let me see if I can find it. That was like, met my wife 18 years ago. Then she left me. And then I built $1 billion business. And now she's back. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Let me see if I can grab it. There we go.
Got it?
Yeah. So this is the guy. 18 years ago, I met my wife. 13 years later, I lost her. 3 years ago, I got her back and built hostage tape into an 8-figure business. And then there's just an entire thread about how, we had all the stuff. We were doing this and that. Didn't take care of myself. Lost myself. Burned out of shape. All this kind of good stuff. So, story we've all heard before. A guy that's trying to chase a business and build something and chase excellence. And then he essentially lets himself go. But there's no, it's all about him and his redemption arc. There's nothing about, this is what she said, this is when she left, or anything like that. And now it's all about, we built this business. We're the official partner of the UFC and Joe Rogan, Andy Elliott, and by the way, my wife and kids and I are back together. And then, like, the first comment is, she didn't die. She just abandoned him until his business took off, and then she came back.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to ever support this business again. Like, I can't be putting my name on something or support something where this is the guy that runs it.
I mean, look, man, he's got some big endorsements there in that thread, and why wouldn't she come back? But why wasn't she there when he was struggling? Why? Because women don't care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and pick the winners. He just happened to be a winner at the finish line, which is why she came back. Further proof that what I say is true.
I just don't understand why he would take her back so easily. I guess on some level I get it, but I don't know. It just seems strange to me.
Well, my guess is that I think it has a lot to do with, I mean, clearly the guy is saying it's all my fault. I'm the one that got out of shape. I'm the one that neglected my wife. He enables her to play the victim and say it was all my fault, And I've run to the guys like that before where, I had a buddy maybe a year ago or so that, and Rich will know who I'm talking about, but it's like they broke up. She immediately ran away to start banging other dudes. And then they got on a call, or he called her, or vice versa, or they met up. And then all she did was turn around and point fingers at him about how he was the problem. And she convinced him after an hour conversation that he was the problem, he was the issue. And then he ended up taking her back. So my guess is something similar happened here.
Yeah, let me pull up something else here I wanted to mention because I bookmarked it that I get heat for. A lot of people do anyway, but the notion of body count not being relevant. Apparently, it serves a evolutionary function in relationship choices. So let me put up the other screen actually, because that one doesn't open up the article, but probably got to break this down. There's an evolutionary relevant relevance, sorry, to body count now. There's an article here, so you guys can go dig it up. You can just search for it on Psychology Today. But things that we have been talking about are getting dots connected. It's always interesting because like the Evo Psych guys don't like people without a degree, without a PhD, C-Psychol, MBA, C after the name and all that sort of shit. When we talk about things that seem obvious, because we have a way of distilling them down into bite-sized thoughts that are easily comprehended and distributed. Maybe we need more academics summarizing things in simpler terms so that we don't have to do it for them. But it's always been a reality. So there you go.
Rich, if you listen to Graham Hancock, he's controversial, and he will tell you the scientific community is exactly like this. Excuse me, they're like a bunch of girls. They don't like new opinions. They like to control everything. It's very much
because he's not an archaeologist or anybody that's got a scientific designation. Like he calls himself more or less a journalist, and he's taking all these observations and some like that's why I like Hancock. Like I think he's great at summarizing a lot of the stuff. There's another guy, Jimmy Corsetti, I think is his name. I was talking to him on DMs the other day. I'd love to have him on for a podcast eventually in the future, but similar sort of conversations as Hancock. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Speaking about bears, actually, because we were dealing with this earlier, I came across this video as well, which I bookmarked. Let me just pop it up on the screen too, because this is a gal that is essentially calling straight white men the problem here. So check this out. Listen to this chick. Volume, play.
We are talking specifically about white men. And I'm just going to say it. Fucking unapologetically going to say it. White men are the most dangerous species in the entire fucking world to women and to everyone else. So we can reframe, right? Men want to be like, not all men. It's always a white man that fucking says that, by the way. Not all men are like that. Okay, so let's reframe the question. Would you rather be trapped in the woods with a white man or a black man? A white man or an Arab man? A white man or an Asian man? A white man or an Italian man? This one might be tough. A white man or a Frenchman?
This is like where she starts to go full retard, like Italian men are white, French are white.
She's way past full retard.
Yeah, but
hang on. Let her just finish.
Problem. You are who we are all afraid of. And if you all do not start fucking changing your shit, we're gonna come fucking eat you.
Sorry.
No, this crazy is, she's the typical.
I'd still rather be stuck in the woods with a white man.
No, dude, she drives a $90,000 SUV, shops at Target, has a son called Braden, wears leggings, has a BLM lawn sign, but doesn't have any black friends or live near black people.
Is it a Lexus SUV though?
Yeah, shut up.
But that's the whole point I was mentioning earlier. Like it's all about their feelings. They don't care about the real stats. Like
no,
you have 13% of the population in America that's responsible for over half of the murders, and yet white people are the problem. Let's look at the statistics again.
Drop her off in Chicago or Washington D.C. in the ghetto, right? See what she thinks about.
See what she does there, yeah.
Or drop her off in Saudi Arabia, though, right?
Right.
What
see if she's allowed to even say anything that even resembles this.
Yeah.
Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
I'm gonna take a different point of view here. I think she's right. I think white males are the apex predator of this planet.
Apex predator in what sense? They're responsible for more deaths?
Sorry?
They're responsible for more deaths?
In what way?
Yeah, in what way?
Well, in the sense that we kind of dominate most of areas of expertise and some sports competitions and
that's not true.
Which ones?
No,
Swimming?
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about sprinting,
tennis,
blacks are
basketball,
far more effective at sprinting than Caucasian.
That's why I said
people.
some.
Well, no, but I mean, like, obviously, it's up to people to, spread their seed and colonize or whatever, though, right? Make something of the world. But just the fact that she said white men, like that's absolutely not true. There's
It's just demonstrably false.
Yeah.
Actually,
Hear me out. I'm
pointed
not being
out to
racist.
it in the chat. Crime statistics show which groups are systematically most dangerous.
Hear me out. I'm not being racist. There's a point. And considering, like the situation where you can consider white males to be the apex predator, do you know the most dangerous animal or being for these apex predators? Who they are? Ex-wives.
But are they white women?
I don't know. Does it matter?
She seems to think that it matters.
Now, I was just trying to, take a different point of view and make a joke out of this entire situation. And the point is that it's a target-rich environment. You got a lot of high achievers. You got a lot of people that go hunting. You got a lot of people that, kill other beings and work in slaughterhouses and stuff like that. And they just happen to be white.
Well, gentlemen, 3/4 of us are the problem apparently on this. We are the enemies. We are the evil ones.
I want my reparations.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You gotta ask.
Because I am evil and I shall oppress you. And I will culturally appropriate you as well.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. You guys can pick this up in the merch store if you ever want one. Oh, man. So what else is going on this week, man? What else you guys trip across in the crazy world of the interwebs?
The car that I told you about, do you think you want to put it up?
Which car?
Picture.
Oh, that, hold on a sec. The Sinton, whatever the fuck it was. Hang on, I pull it up.
12-cylinder.
We can talk about it. Ferrari, what is it called? The Cilinderini.
12, just put 1, 2, and Cilindri.
12. I don't know. Let's just put a C and see what comes up. There it is. The Cilindri. So Ferrari has announced this new vehicle. Actually, you know what they did immediately was the Tesla guys compared it immediately to this car. It was hilarious because I saw a comment from Doug DeMuro. Here it is. Here it is. It's hilarious.
I think this car coming out is great because it's going to push down the prices of the 812.
Here we go. So here's our Tesla Bro comparing the 510 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.9 second Model 3 performance with the $400,000 plus Ferrari 12 Cilindri, whatever the hell that is, 830 horsepower. Naturally aspirated V12. It doesn't look good. This is not a pretty car. A lot of cars that I've seen Ferrari design, like ever since Pininfarina stopped associating with Ferrari, I think the design language on their cars has gone downhill for the most part. There, with some exceptions, right? Like the 296, I think looks like a piece of shit. It's very fast. It's a very competent car, but it doesn't look very good. So then you get like the Tesla bros that come along and they're like, Tesla value kills Ferrari. Model 3 front looks better, blah, blah, blah. I'd still take the Ferrari over the Tesla.
Yeah. I don't think there's any overlap.
No. You got Elon Musk here. The new Model 3 Performance is awesome. Yeah.
I'd buy a Model 3 Performance and I'd buy a 812. And I don't think there's any chance that you can mistake one for the other.
I'll say this. I think that they improved the look of the Teslas with this redesign that they've done on the Model 3, which should move on to the Model Y. The Model Y, by the way, is the ugliest car on the road, in my opinion, today. It just looks horrible. But there you have it. This is the new Ferrari V12.
How's the interior on the new Teslas, though? That's the
they have improved it slightly, but it's not going to hold a candle to what Ferrari's putting out. Yeah. This is a far sexier car. It's got 2 dashboards, multiple screens. It's a better looking car.
That's kind of the point that I'm making, is that like the interior of the Teslas has been their main complaint. Having everything on that main screen is
I don't like the lack of buttons. I've said this before. If I get in a car, I want a button for the heated seats. If I get in a car, I want a button for the air conditioned seats. I want a button for the fan speed. I don't want to go through 3 menus and click and slide and do all this shit while I'm taking my eyes off the road looking over here. It's stupid. But they do it to save money. They do it to take the buttons away to save 2 cents on that button, 7 cents on this button, you know, 3 cents on like a knob, to put it all in a fucking iPad screen to save a couple of bucks, you know, to increase their profit margins and make it harder for you to find shit.
Yeah, but that's they make such
steering signals are buttons though, but like when they should be knobs.
Correct. Yeah. So on the new Tesla Model 3, they took away the steering stalks. The one on the right hand side was for drive, neutral, park, I think, or whatever, and the one on the left was your turn signal. So they put all of that in the steering wheel and haptic touch.
It's retarded.
Like
comparing
these cars makes absolutely zero sense. The only thing that they have in common is that they are both cars and they both drive on the same roadway. But other than that, the client, the segments, the targets, the objective, the entire reason for these cars existing doesn't, like, there's no overlap. Something that I wanted to say, Rich, did you notice that the interior of the Ferrari kind of looks like what we imagined cars to be back in the 90s when we were looking at sci-fi comics?
Yeah, they're turning more and more into like fighter jets and stuff like this. But let me show you this image here of a Ferrari that actually looks good, because they still know how to design cars from time to time. This is what a good-looking car is about.
Yeah.
812 Superfast TDF. Look at that thing. It looked like that car fucks. That car fucks hard.
This car oozes testosterone.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to 100 miles an hour just standing still.
Yeah, and they sound amazing. They sound phenomenal. But that's $1 million car right there.
I'd be okay with the normal A12, and they just went down in price. You can have one secondhand with, I don't know, 10, 15,000 kilometers for 240,000 euros.
Speaking of supercars, Moff, you rented LT when you had the guys together in Tampa. Can you talk about the LT that you had? I didn't see you post too many pictures of it, though.
We were out around. I mean, I posted a couple. We got an LT. The look of it was freaking insane. But we really wanted to love it, but we just didn't. Super, super noisy. I don't know if that was that particular model. But especially when the top was up, I don't know if it was maybe like loose panels, but it's the vibrations. You couldn't have a conversation in the car. It was just so loud. It wasn't the engine. It was the vibration and the other pieces of the car around it. The turbo was a little slow for me hitting the pedal to actually catching up and juicing the car. It seemed to work better in manual versus automatic. It was fun, but for the most part, like wouldn't be something that I would buy. It was cool to kind of get it out and drive it and test it around.
Are you a car guy at all? Like, has that car changed?
I've gotten increasingly more car guy since I've met you guys. I used to not be a car guy at all. But the best, I've rented a handful over the years since we've done meetups and things like that. My favorite was probably the R8. I think it was the V10. But yeah, that thing was a lot of freaking fun. Yeah, it was cool. I'd driven the 570 before. I had driven a 570 before. I'd been in your 720, and then I had now driven the 600. So, yeah, as far as like straight up track performance, I don't think anything beats the McLaren. But, it was just there were just a little nitpicky things that we didn't really. Also, the backup camera makes absolutely no sense. I don't know if you have this in your 720.
Same thing. It's in the center console.
Right behind the wheel. So if I have the wheel turned at all, I can't
it's hard to
see what I'm fucking doing. I couldn't believe that they would do that. So over and all, I don't know.
You can actually move it over to the center screen. I don't know if you can on the 600 LT, but on the 720 you can move it over the center screen too.
They didn't tell me anything about it. They got it brand new to their fleet, so I think I was one of the first guys to drive it. Had rented it, so me and a buddy.
What did it cost daily?
We did it about $1,000 a day.
It's not bad. With unlimited kilometers, or up to like 100 per day?
No, I think they gave us. I think its standard was like 200 miles. I think we got them to go up to like 300 or 350, something like that.
So
yeah.
So the LT, to speak to the rattling and the noise and all that sort of stuff, is common with like the track focus cars. 'cause
And it
they
was
take
carbon
out-
fiber. They had the full carbon fiber seats, so that was
Yeah.
like a little bit of a bummer too. It was super hard to get in and out of.
Yeah, they
765
basically
LT?
hard mount the seats. There's no
Yeah.
adjustability except for sliding forwards and back.
Forward and back.
The motors, I think, have more solid mounts to the frame. There's no sound deadening. The entire body's a carbon tub, so you hear everything like stones on the road will shoot up, and you hear everything. It's not a comfort car. It's designed to go. It's designed for one thing only, to go really fast around a
fast.
racetrack. That's it.
Yeah.
This is the 70,
So, it was
765 LT?
No, 600.
600.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I know, the LTs are the more track-oriented version than the normal cars.
Yeah,
So the 720 is a bit more road-oriented than the
the
765.
720 is a better road going car.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine had a 765 LT for 3 years when we were doing rallies. I remember one year he was so pissed off with the car. He kept pulling over because he's like, there's a rattle and it's driving me absolutely nuts and I don't know how to fucking stop it. But that's just how they built those cars, right? Like they vibrate.
Isn't it also fatiguing?
It is. Yeah, it's tiresome to hear all that shit when you're driving for sure. Especially on
Yeah,
longer road
top down, it
trips.
wasn't as bad, but I mean, in Florida, like if you have the top down, you're gonna get toasted. So, one guy rented a Vet, another guy picked up like a Shelby from whatever rental car. So, we did some driving, and that was cool. And then guys got some pictures with them and stuff like that. But yeah, it wouldn't be something I'd rent again.
I heard good things about the power increases available on the new Mustang Shelbys.
On
like
the
they
Dark
go-
Horse thing, the supercharged one?
Yeah, the supercharged ones go to about 800, 900 rear wheel horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Easily, yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
All I got to do is change the pulleys on those. I just changed the cats on the Porsche. I put high flow 200 cell cats and heat wrapped everything because I had this actuator that kept melting. Car sounds way better. And dude, when I launched it the other day, I was out driving with Serge. We were doing a little bit of ripping around the roads. He's got a GT3 RS and 992. So we both launched it at this light in Mexico. I should probably preface that. And the entire car, like I've never seen a car do this in its entire life. So a Turbo S normally squats and just goes. Like it just hooks, it squats and goes, right? Because the engine's in the back. This is the first time I've ever been in a four-wheel drive car where it squatted and it danced all the way down the street because it lit up all four tires. Like I've never seen a car do that before. It's fucking wild. And it just shoots out of the hole like a slingshot, dude. It's wild.
Yeah.
I got to take it to the drag strip. I want to see what I can get in the quarter mile time. I wouldn't be surprised if it showed like high nines.
A real pros cars and a dangerous car is the GT2 RS version of that car.
Yeah.
Because
That'll be
it
coming in
only
the
has
next year or two.
rear wheel drive.
Giuseppe says, when men get into marriage or long term, most of the time they become fat, lazy, incompetent, and lose their edge in life. P.S. Their women will file for divorce and lose genuine burden desire. This is a statement of fact. Most of the time.
What else has been going on is that Bitcoin recovered from its 56K drop.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark the other day. You weren't on the Zoom call, Dragos, but he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if the crypto market just sort of skipped around all spring and summer, doing not much of anything. But it looks like it's starting to get some traction. Although today some of the coins are a little bit down. Some are half are up and half are down on my watch list. So
I have a different expectation for the next few months.
when do you think it's going to take off?
I think we're going to see more than 80K by the
when?
15th of June.
That's pretty close, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a month and a half away.
And I have this expectation because it's showing pretty good strength. And I follow a bunch of people into technical analysis, and it's mostly lagging indicators, right? So they will look at a chart and say, oh, it's gone back above this level. It means that it's bullish. Okay, but can you help predict what it's going to do next? So I find that fundamental news and expectations, or trying to see where the market is going to go via following the Fed hike rate or Powell's statements, is a much better way of predicting or trying to see where the market's going to go, because it's so correlated to the greater financial market.
There were some people that were talking about buy signals for Bitcoin are around the 50s, like 52. But the cost to mine, like the average cost it says here right now on the internet, the average cost to mine a Bitcoin is about $58,000 to $59,000.
About 60K, just to round it up.
Yeah.
And the point is that that's not a set in stone price. Like the price can go under the mining price for a while.
But it doesn't stay there very long, does it?
Exactly. Because when interest comes back into the market and people buy the Bitcoin, they buy it off of the market. And if no new Bitcoin gets produced because it's cheaper to buy off the market than to buy it from miners, then at some point the price rebounds. And we're not in a situation where the market looks bad and everybody's panicking because, I don't know, there's a crash on the horizon or there's something fundamental. We had this crash because of the situation with Israel and Iran. And that's kind of cleared up. So now we don't foresee anything bad. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but the market is basically a forward-looking device. And people are going to buy based on what they think is going to happen. So if they think that we're going to have smooth sailing for the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and there's going to be no rate cuts because the Main Street isn't down too bad, then they're probably going to take price up a bit more. And once we clear the 80K levels, I think we're going to get a drop in dominance. I hope it's going to get to, I don't know, 60% in Bitcoin dominance by that point, and then we can see a decline in Bitcoin dominance and some alts popping.
Yeah, that's usually what happens anyway.
So, like, I follow a bunch of analysts, and they're all old guys, real guys, not looking for engagement. And most of them just look at the price, and if it's going down, they chart some squiggly lines on where it could go down lower than that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a science; it's more of an art.
Science, art, and luck all combined.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys, anything else you want to mention before we quickly wrap up?
I wanted to ask a question real quick with our lifting friends. So we talked yesterday about low intensity, steady state cardio. At what point is your heart rate above that threshold where or is it heart rate? Is it, how do you kind of measure that? You should be targeting, 140, 150. We talk about like the fat burning zone, sort of zone 2 being dictated from person to person, but like, what are your sort of perfect settings, like incline treadmill, or where do you want your heart rate to go but not exceed so you don't start tapping into carb sources as fuel?
I would say in general, it's you should be able to have a conversation, but it should be difficult to have a conversation. That's kind of where you want to be in that.
So it's like 120, 130 beats per minute, right?
Well, yeah,
for most people.
Depending on the age, though, right? But
yeah.
As a general guideline, where you don't need a device to measure, is that you should be able to talk to somebody, but it should be uncomfortable. Like you should be heavy enough that. But again, you can continue that indefinitely.
Right.
I'll say this, dude. Like that camping trip that we're gonna do this weekend coming up, between paddling, portaging, carrying shit, setting up tents, bringing them down, cooking, gathering firewood, chopping down trees, you're going to be burning a lot of calories daily.
I can't wait to finish not being stuck to the screens and just come over for 6 months to spend some time with you guys. Like, it's so intellectually unstimulating for me to live in Romania. There's a lot of upsides, but I swear to God, I feel my neurons dying living in Constanța.
Yeah, you've said that before. All right, boys. Do all the stuff for the algorithm. And again, keep in mind, we've got the School of Unplugging launching June 1st. Get on my email list to get notified on the open of it. It's entrepreneursandcars.com/red-flags. There's going to be a ton of valuable course information there. Basic 101 stuff that often gets asked and skipped or is not organized in a nice way anywhere on the internet. We're putting that together, Moff and I. How many modules are there again? There's like a dozen?
12 or 13. Yeah, I have to double check. It's somewhere in there.
There's that. We're going to keep adding stuff to it as time goes on. There's going to be monthly Zoom calls. You guys have a place to chop up shit privately. So keep an eye open for that. We're coming with that June 1st. Thanks for watching, guys. Have an amazing week. We're back on Ladies Night tomorrow night. We got an 8 o'clock show, Moff?
Yeah, Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. We got some new girls lined up, so we'll see you guys then. Have an awesome one.